Hey folks, I'm Coach Ty with Muscle Wiki, and today we are going over how I went from struggling to do one chin-up to doing 3 reps at 120 pounds. So there's a few things we're going to cover here, but I'm going to put this in 3 simple sections or categories or steps for you so you too can get some of this weighted chin-up action, a whole lot of lat gains. Let's do it. Step number 1 is adding weight. Now, you might not be comfortable adding some weight to your chin-ups just yet, but I would encourage you to do so anyway. We know from the research that doing fewer than 5 reps leads to a lot more strength gain than doing plus 5 reps. But many people do not do fewer than 5 reps with chin-ups just for, actually I don't know why, but there's no reason why you can't. The same way you would train your deadlift to get much stronger, the same way you would train your squat to get a lot stronger, you can do the same thing with a chin-up or a pull-up. So we're going to train fewer than 5 reps, and again, I want you to start adding weight to your chin-ups before you might be comfortable doing so. Now, once you've done this for, say, let's say hypothetically 6 to 8 weeks or something like that, you progressively overload, you work up to 5 reps at 5 pounds, and then you work up to 5 reps at 10 pounds, so on and so forth over the course of 6 to 8 weeks. When you go back to your body weight chin-ups, it's going to feel like nothing. It's going to feel like butter because, again, doing low amounts of reps is the best way to get stronger. So add weight. Thing number 2, cluster sets. Now, you might have heard of cluster sets before, and again, you may have seen them used with movements like the bench press or the squat or the deadlift, but we're going to use them with chin-ups as well. So cluster sets has been very well researched, and they do find that they lead to a lot of strength gain very quickly. Reason being is you are not quite training to failure, so you're not frying your nervous system, you're not doing a whole ton of fatigue, but you are working with a much heavier weight than you would otherwise be able to use. So say, for example, you want to do a total of 8 reps. Doing 8 reps with a 70-pound dumbbell is extremely difficult, but doing 4 sets of 2 reps where you rest roughly 15 seconds in between each set is a lot more doable. You get the same amount of reps, same amount of volume at a heavier weight, so technically more volume than you would otherwise be able to do. Now, there are several different protocols for cluster sets. You could do 6 sets of 1, you can do 4 sets of 2, you can do 3 sets of 3, so on and so forth. But usually, the larger the amount of reps, the longer the rest period needs to be. So if you're doing clusters of 1 rep, you would usually rest about 5 seconds. If it's 2 reps, we'll say 10 seconds, and 3 reps, we do 15. Also, the larger the amount of reps, the fewer the amount of clusters that you're going to do. So if you're doing 1 rep, you could do 6+ clusters, kind of depending. So I'm going to do some clusters of 1 here just to show you kind of how this works. I'm not going to do a full-on cluster set because it would just take a little bit too much time, but here we go anyway. So I'm just going to do clusters of 1, and therefore I'm going to do 5 seconds in between. I don't have my watch, so I'm just going to go 5 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Feel free to insert whatever geographic location based on where you're from. Five Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi. And I only start my rest period once my hands are off the bar. 3, 2, 1. The other nice thing about cluster sets is because you're doing fewer reps, you can really dial in your form. And you can make sure each rep is damn near flawless. Usually if you're doing a longer set, let's say you're doing sets of 8 reps, at some point you're going to start to fatigue, and in many cases your form will start to slip ever so slightly. So this is also a great way to dial in form. Thing number 3, our last thing, frequency. So we know from the research that if you squat more often, you're going to get stronger at the squat more quickly. We know from the research that if you bench press more often, you're going to get stronger at the bench press more quickly. The one exception to this rule seems to be the deadlift, most likely because it does so much nervous system fatigue because there's so many moving parts, so many moving joints and working muscles. But chin up, we can also increase our frequency. So if you're a beginner, I would encourage you to at least try doing chin-ups twice per week, and I would stagger out how heavy I'm going on each day. So on day number 1, I would go heavier. You can either do your cluster sets or maybe 3 sets of 5 and fewer reps. If you're more intermediate, you've been doing these for a while, I would say maybe even 3 times a week, and again, stagger them out. So day 1, go heavier. Day 2, maybe 6 to 10 reps, 8 to 12, somewhere in there. And then day 3, maybe put some accessory lat work. We do also know that the thing with true carryover is muscle size. So the larger your lats and biceps get, the easier your chin-ups are going to get. So throwing in a pull down or some other kind of vertical pull will help your chin up in that way. A lot of people think that you have carryover, that if you have a similar movement that it's going to carry over to a different kind of movement, not in the way people think it works. Strength is very specific. So the best way to get better at doing one movement is doing said movement. Now, the one drawback with this, increasing your frequency with a chin-up, is if you're doing chin-ups on a normal kind of chin-up bar, your joints are in a very fixed position. Your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in a fixed position, which can give people a lot of pain. And so if you are a person who gets some joint pain when performing chin-ups, or you get joint pain performing a lot of chin-ups, I would say rings are gonna be your best friend. Because rings naturally rotate as you perform the chin-up, you won't get nearly as much joint pain because you can naturally rotate your arm. It's just a much more natural movement than having that fixed straight bar to chin up from. So try rings if you're getting joint pain. But outside of that, up your frequency, go heavy, cluster sets, and add weight maybe even before you're ready to. And that's it. All right, folks, that is it for the video. That is how you can go from struggling to do chin-ups to doing weighted chin-ups. I really hope that helps. Please let me know what you want to hear from me next. I have another back video for you there and another one over here. Actually, I'm going to put a bicep video over here. I will see you with the next one. Deuces.